Alright, listen up. Here's the facts. I hyped up this tournament in Japan, the first time a Melee tournament has happened in this country in over 20 years. It was arguably one of the most top-heavy invitationals by player ranking in like a while, and it was cool. That's all. It was cool. That is it. I don't care if you think historic is a dumb keyword. The literal definition of history is the study of past events, and that's what we're doing here. So you can go ahead and like gatekeep hobbies or whatever, but I'm gonna talk about this thing that I found cool, okay? Okay, that's it. Roll the intro. Thank you to G Fuel, who is paid to be mentioned in today's video. You guys already know the drill by now, but I don't know, it's the holidays, I guess, so I should probably talk about what I'm grateful for. First off, I'm really happy G Fuel has chosen to be a consistent partner of this channel. Hopefully you guys don't mind me taking a minute out of these videos to like shill a product when the company actually tries to listen to what I have to say. And they kind of let me do whatever I want in these too, which is also rad. And then of course I'm thankful to you guys for just like being chill with me having sponsors in the first place. Anyway, for this holiday season, G Fuel is hooking me up and boosting my creator code discount to a massive 30% off, so you can save a little bit more while also supporting me a bit in the process. You can pick up some of their new seasonal collaborations with Formula 2.0, or try their Hydration Plus Focus bundle, or just check out some of the sales they almost always have going on. So use my discount code WALT at checkout or go to gfuel.com/WALT and you'll get an increased 30% off your order as well. And once again, using that link does give me a small commission, so this 30% bump is hopefully a way to get you guys some more savings while also kicking a buck over to me, so thanks. And it also informs G Fuel that, like, marketing works, I guess? I don't know. Anyway, thanks again to G Fuel for supporting me and the channel, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Okay, so I talked about this in the preview video for this tournament, but Nounsvitational Tokyo was arguably one of the most top-heavy invitationals in modern Melee, or recent Melee at least. It had 15 out of 16 players who had been ranked in the top 10 in the last 3 years, and all of those players had top 4 to major in the last year and a half, which is, I shouldn't have to say this, but that's just absurdly stacked. The other note I had made in that video was that I assumed Zain had more or less locked down #1 for the end of year rankings, but what I forgotten to mention was there was like exactly one timeline that could have resulted in a different outcome. So the major storylines I was looking out for going into this Nounsvitational were this was a tournament in Japan and AMSA. I don't think I'm alone in this statement, but AMSA was one of the players I was most excited to see at this invitational. His 2022 was exceptional, winning multiple majors and almost becoming the best player in the world with his fan favorite Yoshi. But after completing his stay in Canada, he moved back to Japan and had some mixed results at majors this year. His last entered major tournament in 2025 was Gobble Forever all the way back in July, so it had been just over 5 months since we last saw him compete. But perhaps most importantly, he was finally going to be playing on his home turf. I interviewed Armada years ago for a documentary, and he explained to me that his constant international travel came at the cost of tournament performance. As crazy as this might sound, he believed that if he was able to live in North America for a period of time, he could have been even more dominant than he already was. And the data surrounding AMSA definitely supports Armada's claim. Pretty much immediately after AMSA moved to Canada, after no longer needing to endure 12+ hour travel days alongside brutal jet lag, AMSA won 3 f***ing majors. So for all of these reasons, I was really excited to see what a fresh, albeit perhaps rusty AMSA could do with the home field advantage, but then, well,
that's rough, buddy.
So with one of the fan favorites out of the tournament on the very first round of Championship Sunday, what happened to everyone else? Well, alongside AMSA at 13th place was Aklo, who had an absolutely, for lack of a better word, tragic pools day. He went 0-7 on the first day of the tournament with a whopping 5 Game 5 losses. Goody was also eliminated at 13th, losing to Lod in a nail-biter Game 5 that was legitimately 1% away from flipping the situation. I also pointed this out in my watch party of the tournament, by the way, and yeah, I can make a video on this if you want. Just let me know.
Oh my god.
Oh, don't tournament winner. Don't turn. Oh my god. Oh no! 2 in a row!
Oh my god.
Oh. I think that up smash must have been like percentages all.
Yeah.
I thought.
I'm looking, because I think it was like literally 1.
Yeah.
Hang on. Please hold. I don't know if you're asking questions right now. What was that up smash at? 58? Okay. No, it was at like 72.
65. A little bit of running gun. Single hit laser. But we can't. She rolls in. It's fine somehow.
An up smash will do it.
79. I actually think it was like one off. Peach at 79. This is just trajectory DI, straight up, hard right, which is where a lot went. 79, 80, guaranteed kill. Literally 1% off. Anyway, with Lod scraping along by a single % of damage, he ended up going on actually a pretty insane run all the way to 5th, losing only to Zain. But hang on, wait a minute there. If Zain and Lod played, that meant someone else had to have beaten our #1 contender earlier in the bracket, like outside of top 4 early. And with Amsa out before he and Zain could even face off in the bracket, the obvious answer to who knocked Zain into losers would have been Cody. Would have. As Melee tends to do, the script threw us all for another loop, and I fucking predicted that shit. Let's go! Oh, hey, by the way, I know I could probably go into super deep detail on every single match at this tournament, but it was a round-robin pools with 8 players in each of the pools, and I try to be pretty timely and direct with the main storylines out of each of these tournaments. Plus, I live streamed the entire thing, and it went until 7 a.m. my time, so yeah, just watch that instead. Anyway, leave a comment with your favorite moment from the tournament, and if you've been enjoying my content and you made it this far into the video, it would mean a lot to me if you subscribed. You might have noticed I've ramped my production up pretty significantly, and I'm hoping to keep on with at least weekly videos into 2026, so subscribing is one of the best ways to show your support. If you did just subscribe, thank you so much, and maybe now we can figure out this Zain losers bracket mystery. So with Amsa out of the tournament at 13th and Cody sitting at the top of his pool opposite Zain, it was only natural to assume that the two players who had defined the modern era of the game would once again face off and show us some of the highest level Melee ever played. Zain had pretty easily 3-0'd Axe in his quarterfinals match, a 3-0 I should add that was especially surprising to me given Axe and Zain's back and forth set history. Cody more or less breezed by his round 1 too, so yeah, it had to have been another Zain and Cody showdown. Except, it's literally impossible for these two players to face off before winners finals. So, who the hell beat Zain? Well, off of a resurgent showing at Riptide 2025, and roughly in line with my predictions by the way, Jungaaaa made heads turn for a second holiday season in a row by knocking Zain into losers early.
How's it feel with the mouse traps?
Big. That jab extension, down tilt. Wasn't perfect. This should be it.
Jungaaaa in winners finals of the Nounsvitational Tokyo 2025 beating Zain. Oh my goodness, what a performance.
We just have to name every tournament Nounsvitational. Maybe he wins them. Maybe he just wins them.
That's the secret.
You know, we see kind of a lackluster year, but coming back to the Nounsvitational over a year later now, and just damn good.
Like I had mentioned in the preview video, Jungaaaa was one of the only players in this bracket, sans Cody, with a reasonable head-to-head against Zain. Lifetime, it's actually Jungaaaa favored. So with Zain then eliminating Lod at 5th, he ended up completing a top 4 of Zain versus HBox in losers, and Jungaaaa versus Cody Schwab in winners. Cody's path to top 4 was rather uneventful, only dropping a game to Triff and HBox on his march through winners, and Jungaa's entry to top 4 was back-to-back Game 5s against Moki and the aforementioned Zain. Hungrybox, after losing to Cody, only needed to take out Joshman to claim his spot. And of these 4, it still wouldn't have been an insane bet to have Zain taking it home. He had already won 5 majors this year, including an extremely rare 4-peat. If he were to win here and complete an even more rare 5-peat, he would also surpass Armada in total major wins, so there was a lot on the line for him in Tokyo in terms of legacy discussion. Hungrybox had been acting as a bit of a gatekeeper to the rest of the field at his number 3 slot in the summer ranks, seated comfortably behind the aforementioned Zain and Cody. And Cody was in pretty much undeniably the best position to win at this point, with Zain tucked away in losers and only needing 2 sets to bring home the W. On the other hand, Zain was in pretty much the worst position to win at this point, now with both Cody and Jungaaaa to get through. He did find a smooth victory over Hungrybox to guarantee the podium, but after a 3-1 win from Cody to advance into Grands, the Jungaaaa-Zain runback was imminent. And for a bit more context on this player matchup, this was one of the more balanced set histories out there, which is why I felt pretty strongly that Jungaaaa could go on a run here. Despite some all-over-the-place performances this year, Jungaaaa still had a solid record against Zain, which is more than what the rest of the field could say. The two went even in sets at 4-4 in Jungaa's breakout 2022. Then Jmook was slightly favored in 2023, and then Zain was slightly favored in 2024, and then they literally did not play again until the two were here in Japan. In pools, Zain made it look not close. He 3-0'd Jmook. But in this set, Jmook legitimately looked like he was in flow state. And a Jmook in flow state is what makes the Sheik Marth matchup look terrible, like really bad. I mean, just look at this clip, and yeah, I can make a video on this too if you want. Just let me know.
Oh, I thought I could set out.
Wow. That was nasty, because I thought you missed that L cancel on that fair.
Uh-huh.
All right, Jmook. Oh my God.
What the
Yo, wait. Oh no.
That's insane. There's no way.
Jmook absolutely demolished Zain, a 3-0 stomping to claim his best major level performance of the year. Unfortunately though, this wasn't the same Jmook who made his breakout at 2022's Genesis 8. He was returning to Cody Schwab, the player who had become this Sheik's bracket demon over the years, with a combined 19-8 set count over the breakout star since 2022. Across the entire world, the first Melee major in Japan in 2 decades would see a champion hailing from New York. Jmook, who hadn't won a tournament since Nounsvitational last year, up against Cody, who hadn't won a tournament since Tipped Off 16 in June. Jmook's bracket luck against this other New York upstart didn't change here though, and a commanding 3-0 would seal it, leaving Cody Schwab as the last man standing in Nounsvitational Japan.
Cody's like taking this to the main.
Yeah.
Like, this is the space y'all are talking about, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yo, now.
The curse.
He's gonna out smash him. I just feel it.
Just
Okay.
like 30 damage from laser.
Right. Grab
That's
that.
out smash.
Yeah, GG,
Yeah.
shake my hand.
Up there. Yeah. Jeez.
And Cody
Oh.
Yeah.
with the W.
Doesn't it?
Now, Invitational Tokyo 2025 champion. Let's go. Well done. Well done. Cody Schwab. I know you've been having like some ups and downs in the year,
This was an up.
but good way to end it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Way to end it.
Definitely.
He
Commanding fast. Dude.
Hey.
he
Let's
tore
go.
through the bracket, right? He didn't lose once, right? He just
Nope.
No.
Nope.
yeah,
no,
no,
not
losers,
thinking
yeah.
about it. I don't
That's
think he lost a
crazy.
set this whole
Did
tournament.
he lose a set in pools?
Yeah.
No.
No.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Undefeated.
Undefeated.
That's
Wow.
Badass.
Games here and there, but all things considered, man,
At like
you're champ.
basically one of the most stacked tournaments ever. Because you know, someone
Yeah.
kind of made the point. It's like, okay, you know, some of it was invitationals, but some would always have some vote-ins. You know,
Right.
it wouldn't always be just the kind of the literal lineup of all the best players, which is sort of what this tournament was for the most
Right.
part.
Yeah.
Right.
So incredibly difficult tournament to win.
This tournament gave me such an intense 2023 vibe, like in a good way. The top 3 returning to the 2023 ranked top 3 of Cody, Zain, and Jmook was not only nostalgic, but it reminded me of the crazy triangle of a power struggle we had between those 3 players. I mentioned that singular timeline where Zain may not end up as the #1 player in the world at the end of 2025. Part 1 of that was to have exactly Cody win the tournament, so check. But part 2, and where I think this reality may ultimately crumble, is I think Zain would have had to perform like really badly, like extraordinarily badly. And I don't really consider a bronze medal and double elimination to Jmook an extraordinarily poor performance, so despite a cool outcome in this top 4, my prediction is Zain will still have the #1 ranking at the end of this year. Obviously though, a loss at the final Melee Major of 2025, as well as the first time a tournament had happened in Japan in 20 years, has to sting at least a little bit. But these players go into these competitions knowing that they can be hurt like this, and that's what makes watching and admiring these tournaments so awesome to me. If the end-of-year rankings come around and Zain does get his #1 rank, I don't think he'll be satisfied, because the best competitors are never satisfied. Even though this may not change the dialogue around who's the best this year, seeing someone like Jmook, a player who was in consideration for top 3 in 2023, make a claim that he can get back there again has me excited for what 2026 will have to offer. And as for our winner, Cody Schwab, he's always wrestling with the idea of retiring, but like Zain and like Jmook and like Hungrybox, I'm sure he doesn't want to hang up the sticks until he can say he's fully satisfied with what he's accomplished in the game. And the best competitors are never satisfied. At the end of the day, there is and always will be so much more Melee to be played. And I'm damn sure to stick around if you will. Thanks for watching. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I had an absolute blast doing the watch party for this tournament, despite it running until like 7 a.m. the next morning. Obviously, I was pretty bummed I had to cancel my trip out there, but maybe there will be another chance to go next year. My 2025 event calendar is officially wrapped with this tournament, and I'm most likely not going to anything else for Melee, Brawlhalla, or otherwise until like Genesis next year. But like I said before, I'll still be pushing weekly videos well into the new year. This channel is funded by my Patreon and YouTube members. Thank you to all of you guys who help make these videos possible, and check out the link if you want to get your name in the credits. Thanks especially to Avishua Stein, Bobby Wasabi, Brent Mukai, Carter Roberts, Dark Genix, Eric is Cool, Gustavo Cantu Fernandez, James Fabman, Justin Duncan Mills, Kyle Carlin, Marshall Bradley, and Sam Wright. Okay, bye!